This video is inspired by Gio's video on the Philippines, where he mentions all the videos about the Philippines. They're all influencer positive hype. They're just fake. They only focus on the positives, and they don't actually tell you how it really is in the Philippines. They just overhype it up. And he's absolutely right. And there's reasons for that, which I'll get into, but this is my own video to supplement his video. Me and my friends, we watched that video and we're all laughing. It's like, yes, this is true, this is true, this is true. I have some additional comments about the culture that, first of all, the target audience for this video, it's not local Filipinos. If you are a local, do not watch this video. Please just stop watching. This is only going to offend you because you don't necessarily have the perspective to listen to this and see that there is a definite reoccurring pattern within Filipino culture, and these are not just broad, senseless generalizations. The first thing I want to mention, Filipino culture, more than any culture besides Brazil, is a culture that does not take criticism well. When I say criticism, I mean anything that is somewhat embarrassing, somewhat negative, or just correcting a mistake. It is a culture that there is a strong knee-jerk reaction because the energy is Filipinos, similar to Vietnamese culture, Chinese culture, they have a sense of maintaining the social harmony. As if Filipinos take it to the next level, they will blatantly just prefer to be gaslit pure positivity, just silly positivity, and just ignoring, just glossing over anything that is just negative. You cannot criticize this culture without a strong backlash. Like, you just can't. And in this video, if you show Filipino, they will either attack me back or they will get into these defensive things, such as the most common Filipino defenses. One, you can't generalize all Filipinos. They'll say that. You can't generalize. My response to that is, when I say Filipinos are like this and that, what I mean is, out of the 30 countries I have visited, I have seen a reoccurring pattern and behavior, despite the socioeconomic levels, education levels, poor, rich, etc., and this is just unique to the Philippines. I have seen a pattern and behavior that occurs way more frequently with a time spent in the Philippines, about a year now, that is multiples of the occurrence frequency in the 30 other countries I've been to. And it is just occurring and occurring and occurring to the point where I make a generalization. Yes, I'll say, why are Filipinos like this? Right? And again, I have to preface that, I have to explicitly mention that because only Filipinos, if I say something, it's like, why are Filipinos like this? They will just have a strong backlash saying, that's not all Filipinos, right? Versus if you go to Africa and you ask, why are Africans dark-skinned? It's almost like someone saying, oh, silly boy, not all Africans have dark skin. Or going to Korea and someone saying, why do Koreans like plastic surgery? Imagine an army of Koreans in the comments saying, not all Koreans, 100% of Koreans have plastic surgery? That's just so false. No, it's just, you need to look at it from baseline frequency compared to other cultures. This behavior, this pattern arises, and I'm just giving objective, I'm just sharing the things that I have observed occur here way more frequently, just way more frequently in the Philippines. Haven't even gone to my points yet. I just have to leave that long prologue, the preface, because just cancel culture is very strong, and Filipinos do not like any criticism. There's just this strong backlash. Oh, and the number one defense is you can't generalize. Number two defense is, this is the Philippines, get out. It's like what? Am I not allowed to make an observation? Am I not allowed to make an observation? It's just a neutral observation. And like, why can't you listen to it and think about it versus just knee-jerk saying, get out? And again, there's a historical reason why, and I'm starting to understand the historical reasons and the whole corruption, and I understand it now. This is the one thing I wish I would have realized earlier, and thank you. This is the one thing I wish I would have realized much sooner. And if you understand this one point, you will understand everything about Filipino culture. And this one thing, Philippine culture, fundamentally underlying the whole thing, Philippine culture is a low integrity culture. Filipino culture is a low integrity culture. Let that sink in. And there's nuances to this. When I say low integrity, I'm not saying that they are dishonest people, okay? I'm not saying that. Low integrity, there's two ways of looking at it. One is intentionally having low integrity, and then the other part is unintentionally having low integrity, right? Implicit low integrity. And just that's the central thing I want you to take away from this video. If you're going to be new to the Philippines, this is the one thing, if you understand it, you will just save so much frustration. You will save so much frustration, and you will just ramp up really quickly the culture. Filipino culture is a low integrity culture. This has nothing to do with ethics. Yes, there are ethical aspects of this low integrity, but I'm talking primarily more about the culture, the operating system these people operate on. It's one that is required for a society that is unreliable, low integrity, and let me just jump into some examples. The first thing that you'll notice is Filipino time. And I would argue that is an example of low integrity. Someone says they're going to be somewhere at noon, 12 o'clock sharp. You get there and they don't show up for 3 hours, and they're not even texting you. And this is both guys and girls. They'll just show up 3 hours, and they're just laughing about it, like when they arrive. They said they'll be there at a certain time, but they didn't get there at that time. The time was just. Now, is it because they're evil? No, it's a culture where words don't really carry any meaning. There's no sense of having pride in your word, right? Like Western culture there's lots of sayings that a man is only as good as his word, right? That is a strong Western noble concept, right? It is a man is only worth as good as his word. That does not exist in the Philippines. That is not a noble virtue to have. There's no concept of that. It's like, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean a man? It's like, just because in Filipino mentality, it's like, well, just because I said something, like, I don't have to do it. No one does, right? It was just like in the moment suggestion, which they just quickly forget, right? Again, I'd like to emphasize that this is not conscious. It's not within their culture because in Western culture, you say something and you keep track of it, so that you fulfill that commitment. And if you don't, you just feel bad. And if you purposely renege on that, you've committed some bad thing. In Filipino culture, that's not a thing. It's you promise things and you just break those promises. It's because they just forgot. They were just in the moment, being overly positive, and like it's like they're talking to a child. It's like, oh yes, yes. You buy something at a store and you ask about the warranty. Okay, here's another example. You buy something at a store. Go to an SM store, like SM, like Hypermart, and buy like a nice appliance. The salespeople, more so than a sleazy US car salesman, they will promise you all these things, right? They'll say it has features that it doesn't. They'll say it just does all these things, and they'll promise you a warranty, no questions asked, etc. Right? And guess what? Those were all lies. But to them, it's not a lie. It's just part of the culture. Be like, oh yes, 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 oh yes, of course, oh yes, it'll be good. It'll do whatever you can. Yes, it'll go to the moon. Yes, 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 don't worry. Just buy it. Just buy it. Just buy it. And again, that's part of the culture. It's not just the salespeople. It's Filipino. They do not like mentioning anything negative. They do not like just directly just giving the hard truth. It's a culture where people gaslight each other, right? And just keep this like positive emotions of gaslighting, right? And again, it's not intentional. There's no evil intent. There's no malicious intent. It's just the way things are. So when in the Philippines, whenever someone says something, you have to verify. The whole trust but verify model. If someone gives you directions, right, this is another favorite. If someone gives you directions, 90% of the time it's just going to be made up. And no, I don't mean that in a bad way. 90% of the time, it's they either have bad directions or they actually believe it and they'll just point off to a random direction and just confidently say, yes, it's that way. And it's just wrong, right? So when someone gives you direction, ask multiple people. Another favorite example was I went to Landers and I asked if something was in stock, and Ate, she told me, oh no. She told me, sir, Landers does not carry this product. I'm like, Landers does not carry this product. And she even told me she's been working at multiple Landers, and she has never seen it. And then I open up the app, I search for it, I say, well, I've only came here because this is in stock at this store. And then she looks at it and she's like, oh, that one, yeah, yes, I have seen it, but only at the other Landers location. This store doesn't have it. It's an error in the system, sir. Which is plausible, right? Do you see what I mean by the gaslighting, right? Like, they make up these excuses in their mind that it makes sense on the surface. And I was like, okay. And again, Ate was very kind, very sweet, and she wasn't trying to be evil. She wasn't trying to be like lazy. So I actually believed her. And then I decided to trust but verify. So I walked around. So in this case, I was looking for a product called Danolite. It's a hypochlorous acid, which is basically a disinfectant / cleaning agent. So I spent the next 10 minutes just looking at the laundry section and whatever, and I found it. And I found like gallons of it. So I bring it, and I just merely go over to Ate. I'm like, ta-da! And she's like, oh my God, sir, sorry. And I genuinely had a good laugh at that, because initially things like this would frustrate me, right? Because it's like, in America, the response you would get is, I don't know, sir, but let me check for it on my systems, right? They would proactively just go and check it to just verify. They would know that this is not an area, this is not something that they would 100% for certainty know. But in the Philippines, it's like the entire population, they don't realize what they don't know, and they will just make up these excuses to just give you what seems to be 100% confidence answer. The end result is they give you false information. You are worse than where you started when you asked, right? Like, that interaction would have saved me like 5-10 minutes, and I could have just done it myself, right? Anyway, so that's the Philippines in a nutshell. It's this whole gaslighting harmony culture. It's just, I don't know how to describe it. Now, that's the most innocent example of what I would call low integrity culture. The more malicious ones are what you come across in relationships. And yes, I have dated around, and oh man, it's just, God. You know, let's not go there. It's just know that there is going to be a severe mismatch, because what you initially see is someone who acts very sweet and speaks English. And for you, your life experiences in America, when the girl is like that, when they're very coy, seems to have conservative values, they're family oriented, etc., those type of girls in the US, they do not lie, because they come from a Protestant culture, a Protestant conservative culture, right? That they have like good work ethic, they listen to their parents, and it's just, in America, you meet a girl like that, they just do not lie. They do not lie. In the Philippines, it took me a year to disabuse myself and realize, oh no. This is a completely different culture. This is just completely different. A form of English. What do you mean? They speak American English. No, they do not. Filipinos, they use the same words, they use the same vocabulary and words as American English, but they mean different things within this culture. Let that sink in. And my favorite example of this is dating. What does dating mean? The term dating, the term from when a word is misused, it's called conflation, where you use a term but you actually meant this other term. But when the entire culture adopts this one term, well, that becomes the reality of that, right? And my favorite example of this is the word dating. What does dating mean in the Philippines? Okay, what does dating mean in the US? Dating means that you are going out with someone. You're like typically a male and a female. You are on a date with romantic interests. It is strictly the first meeting, second meeting, even casually if things move on, but you're not yet in a committed relationship. In the Philippines, dating does not mean that. Dating means you are seriously committed to that. You are seriously committed to that girl, and you're going to meet her parents, and you are just in a serious relationship. That's what dating means. Before you disagree, I will give you the word that they use that actually means American dating, and that word is courting. When a girl that you're seeing tells you that she has many courters, and the way she describes it is, oh yeah, in Filipino culture, it's normal for a man to court a girl, bring her flowers, playing guitar, just giving her gifts for like a year. They're not doing anything. That's another thing that they quote unquote lie about. They're not doing anything. Yeah, they are. They're not doing anything officially, but she's getting lots of gifts, she's getting flowers, and she's getting taken on meals. That's just normal, they say. It's just normal. And it took me a while for it to click. I was like, oh, wait, that's dating. That's dating. And whatever story they tell you, that's the censored version. They're leaving out all the details for you to, because this culture is also like save face culture, so they will just blatantly lie, mislead you, because it's kind of expected for you to expect that. And at the same time, it's kind of fair because you're also expected to lie to them, right? If you're courting multiple girls, yeah, you're allowed to do that, which I don't agree with. Circling back to my hypothesis of Filipinos being a low integrity culture, here's another example. Philippines is the only culture out of 30 countries I've been to. It is the one and only culture that I could universally say, it is the one and only culture where it is celebrated, where it's the only culture where if a Filipino, they scam someone, they steal their money or they trick them in a scam, and they've wrongly, in Western culture, if they wrongly got money from them, if they wrongly stole from them or tricked them or lied to them and they got away with it, here's the thing. When Filipinos tell their friends and their family, you know what their response is? They have a laugh. They high-five each other. They're like, good one, you got them. That's so funny. You naughty dog. That's the reaction. Okay? Let that sink in. Let that sink in. And for you Filipinos watching, you know what I'm talking about. You have a friend that scammed someone over, you'll be like, oh my God. The energy behind it is like, you outsmarted them. Good, but that was naughty, but you outsmarted them. You coy, smart dog, you clever little dog. That's the energy, right? So it's a culture where there's like no consequences. There's no social ramifications. There's no shame in scamming someone. It's just, now to Filipinos watching this, they'll be like, yeah, like, what do you mean this is a Filipino thing? You're generalizing. This isn't just Filipinos. This is human nature. No, it's not. No, it's not. It may be human to do so, but culturally, it is not. It is quite different than every other culture I've experienced. For example, I'm Korean American. You do this in Korea, you tell a single friend, they'll just look at you like with like shock, like, wait, what do you mean? Like you'll see the blood drain from your faces, like, why are you telling me this? And why did you do this? Like, are you okay? This is a terrible thing to do. Like, it's that first knee-jerk reaction isn't shame, like, oh no, that was bad, right? It's not shame or anger. It's like shock, like, this isn't a possibility. Like, and they're like, wait a minute, you're telling me that you. Let me make an example. I don't know. It's like if you were to. It's almost like if a Filipino were to say that they went out and killed an entire church of people, like 100 people, they just stabbed them, and them trying to brag about that, the reaction would be like, are you for real? Like, it would just be a horror and shock. That is the same reaction you'll get if, as a Korean, You scam someone and you tell a friend. Just, I could say this, just flat blanket statement. Your friends, your family, etc. It will be one of just horrific shock. Same with Japanese culture. American culture, it's a mixed bag. And again, this is not just poor Filipinos. It's not just criminal Filipinos. It's just, as far as I can tell, across upper class, middle class, it just doesn't matter. It's as part of the whole men banter. They brag about the times they've outsmarted someone and just like scammed them. That's the only way to put it. It's a culture that celebrates that. I want to clarify one thing. I'm not saying that Filipinos scam foreigners. Well, they do, but they do not specifically do this only to foreigners. No, this whole scamming thing, they do it amongst each other. It's literally dog eat dog world. It's every man for himself, expect to be scammed, and they just do it to everyone. It's not just to foreigners. Filipinos scam each other more than everyone else. I'll repeat that. Filipinos scam each other more than anything else. They screw each other over more than anything else, right? And again, there's cultural reasons why, which I don't fully understand, but it's reflected in the government. You see a level of greed that is just so confusing. Like, I'm not even gonna get there. It's just, Jesus, I've never seen greed at, I don't get it. I just do not understand that type of greed. Let's get to practical recommendations. What are my practical recommendations if you are a foreigner visiting the Philippines? One is bring a lot more resources than you think you need. If you are a poor foreigner, you are not going to have a good time. You are not going to have a good time. Bring a lot more in time, energy, and money than you expect, because there's no way for you to, things just do not go smoothly. Scams, you will get scammed. You will get scammed. You may avoid the big ones, but you will get micro scammed in just ways that you just do not see coming. Example, just from my past week in the Philippines, I got scammed. Like I said, my Grab driver, he took the toll, but instead of charging me, was it 60 pesos, he charged me way more than usual, and I had to message him and saying, hey, why did you charge me that much? And his reply was, oh, sorry, sir. Like, my understanding of it was just automatic button press that he just made it 100, which is not true. He had to consciously type in 100 send and then pocket the rest, right? And I've been in Grab like 50, 60 times and taken the toll maybe 20 times. And that's the first time that's happened, right? So you get used to things and then you don't know all the ways you're just being slowly bled out. Another way was Lala Move. This gentleman was just he was very socially slick. He was, let's say, a 40, 45-year-old Filipino helping me move. And he, at first, just seemed way too accommodating. Like, he'll be like, oh, sorry, sir, but I want to make sure you'll be okay, but Lalamu's official policy is we can only wait here for like 10 minutes, and anything more, they're going to charge you a lot. So, like, I'll do my best to call them and all that, but maybe if you just pay me a little bit right now, I could do all this and, like, make sure you don't get charged. So, yeah, I tipped him extra. Well, turned out he was just lying. And then the worst part was he just kept on doing that, asking for more and more. Till at some point I overtipped him by, 500, 600 pesos, which is a full day's wage. And then only afterwards, again, this is like in the middle of a move. So I've been packing all day, I'm exhausted. There's the stress of handling the logistics of picking up, unloading, making sure that nothing gets stolen. So I just want the move to be done. So after that's done, I sit down, I actually go through Lalamu's policies. And yeah, I booked the package where I get 3 hours of wait, unlimited time. It doesn't matter how many trips they take, etc. And I messaged the guy. I'm like, hey, can I have my money back, or else I'm gonna call Lalamove. Like, I went off on him. I was like, how could you betray me and just lie? And he never admitted it. Here's another thing: when you catch Filipinos, when you catch them, they always try to just figure out a way to save face and be like, oh, sorry, it was a misunderstanding. The girls will revert back to a childlike state and they'll start crying like oh, daddy, no, it's, they'll just start crying and be like, I didn't know, you need to believe me, it's my first time. No, just no. Crocodile tears, where they're pretending to cry, but there's no tears coming out. Yeah, they do that here, right? It's like it's a culture where, for some reason, you catch them making a mistake, they are not encouraged. For some reason, they don't own up to it. They don't take accountability. There's other culture, Korean culture, for example, if someone F's you over, you call him out on it, and he's like, you know what? Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I done effed up. I'm sorry, man. It's I won't do it again. I'm sorry, man. You have every right to be angry. Yeah. Right? Like that's what we're taught to do. In Korean American culture, that's what we're taught to do. Everyone makes mistakes. And as a kid, you're allowed to make like intentional, bad, malicious mistakes, right? And then you just get beaten, and then your parents just beat you, saying, no, just they beat you, they make you confess, right? Be a better person, right? Or else we're just gonna continue beating your ass, and slowly over time, you become a better person, right? That's East Asian culture. The Philippines has none of that. You lie. If you're caught lying, everyone knows that you're lying, and you just laugh it off, and everyone just keeps on, and nothing changes. Everyone just keeps on lying to each other, gaslighting each other, and all that. And again, I like to say that it's nothing about ethics. I am not saying that Filipinos are not ethical people. Within their cultural paradigm, their cultural box, their world, they are honest and ethical. But for some reason, they have a lot of behaviors that if you expect the same behavior according to the ethical behaviors of your culture, you are not going to get it. There's going to be a lot of confusions. There's going to be a lot of frustration, a lot of unexpected, what just happened, right? And it's good to just prepare for that. One of my favorite things Gio said at the end, he said, as expats, you cannot change the people. You can't. It's not within your rights. You cannot change it. Do not expect to change it. Do not give them any input. Just let them be. This is their home. You're a guest. This is their culture. But my take on that, yes, that's true. But just expect these unexpected things and have an open mind, and then you'll have to construct your own behaviors, your own ways of handling it and translating it within your world. And it's just, I don't know, it's just really hard. It's just really, really hard. Because, I don't know. Anyway, I hope that wasn't too much of a rant. This is just one of those videos that is just the honest freaking truth about the Philippines. And yeah, that's all.